everybody, welcome back to Caitlin Reads and Rambles. My name's Caitlin, and on today's ramble, or hopefully information that's going to help people, is about Disability Students Allowance. And I've gone to get my assessment today, so that's why I'm recording it today. I just want to do it while it's fresh in my mind, while I can remember everything. So, Disability Students Allowance is a government scheme that helps people who are disabled to be able to study. You can get equipment and software to give you support while you are studying. So when I looked into it, there wasn't that many videos for people who are in my situation. So I'm deaf and I'm going to the Open University. But there were videos mainly for people who were going to brick universities, and there were also people who didn't have a laptop that wouldn't be beneficial to them. So when I applied for student finance, it asked me if I was disabled and if I wanted to apply for the Disability Students Allowance, and I said yes because I want to actually look into what was available for me. So I applied for by student finance. I expected to have to print off the forms and fill it in and send it away, but a week later I got the forms sent in the post. They asked for basic information, my course and my disability, and they wanted proof of my disability and how it would affect me. So I was able to fill in the form, take a photograph and upload it to my student finance account. I was able to do the same with my evidence as well. And I actually had a lovely letter from the cochlear implant team which explained what a cochlear implant is and also how it can affect people with it. So I sent that away, waited for a response, and I got an email from StudyTech to fill in some more information, just a bit more in-depth information, and ask what equipment I already have. And I was very honest with my responses because what's the point of lying? Honestly, what is the point of lying about it? So, as I mentioned, it's StudyTech, but there's also another one called Capita, which you probably already know and heard of. It's been in the news for like PIP assessments and I think ESA assessments. So I sent that off, and then I got a reply back to say you can book your assessment date. Now this was the tricky bit because I was clicking on the link, it was saying there was no availability, so I was emailing back and forth saying I can't get an appointment. So I managed to eventually book a face-to-face appointment, but there is the option to do it through Teams or Zoom. I think it's one of them. So you don't have to actually leave your home and you can just do it online. So I went for my assessment today, and my venue was at a local university students' union. There is a website with all the list of all the sort of assessment areas that you can go to. You can just do a Google search, it will come up. So I went in, introduced myself, and she introduced her, and then she said it's going to be like an informal chat just to see what support I can get. So she initially asked what support did I have in any other sort of study that I've done. So I said when I was at uni previously, and now I'm going to say it's going to sound a bit weird because you might think how on earth are you getting the student funding if you've already been to uni. Well, I did a nursing course, but I didn't qualify to the full qualification that I was going for. Plus, I did not get student finance for that. It was through NHS funding at the time, but that's all changed now. So I said that I didn't have any student support. I did try to apply for it, but I didn't really get anywhere with it because I didn't have enough evidence. And she said, what did you find tricky back then? I said, well, my situation is a bit different now because I've got a cochlear implant. But I will say, when I was at the uni in the lecture, I struggled with making notes on what the lecturer was saying because I struggled to focus what was on the screen. So it was like a PowerPoint presentation with them saying things and then trying to write things down at the same time. It was just very, very difficult. So she totally understand that, and then she asked me where I would struggle with reading, and I said maybe if I'm like tired and things like that, I might not be fully like with it, because being deaf can be tiring, because if I'm at work all day, I've got to really like concentrate on what people are saying, and it does take a lot of energy out of you. So I think I might struggle with that. And she said, would it be hard for you in a noisy environment? I said yes, it would, because I'd be difficult to concentrate. But I do have the option to take my implant off if I need to. So she asked where we struggle with writing, and I said grammar is probably where I struggle with. I don't know if that's to do with my hearing problems, and also like with words that, oh, that also goes with reading, words that I don't already know or don't know the pronunciation of, I might struggle with. She asked about communication. I said I want everything like sort of written down, and then she sort of went through other questions, just like general questions, um, like what equipment I already have, and they said, "Oh yeah, you've already got a laptop." I said yes, and she then went through the recommendations, what she think might help me. So the first thing that she recommended was Glean. It was just like a software, and there's also an app that could go on my tablet, because I did mention I have got a tablet where I'm going to make notes with, and I can do split screen, so I can like make notes at the same time as going through the module material. Um, so at Glean, what she showed me was, it was like sort of recording sort of software. She showed me like a PowerPoint slide, and then there was like a note sort of section in the middle, and there was also like captioning, like live captioning, and then there was like a transcript of the whole sort of session. So that would help me, because if I'm at a on a day that I'm tired from like listening to everything, I can just like sort of join the lecture or the tutorial, and then I can record it. I will try to listen to it, and then I can go back at a later date when I'm a bit more like focused to do that. Now, with your university, they do have a similar sort of thing that they already do through the program. It's called Adobe Connect. So it will show like the screen share, they've got like captioning, and they've also got like a text box as well. So that's great for me, because in the past when I've been anywhere and like like a big group situation and there's people asking questions, I can't always hear what they're actually asking them, and then the person at the front starts answering and I'm like, what on earth was your question, what are you talking about, and I zone out very easily. So having that chat thing's got to really help me, because I'll be able to understand what questions they're asking. And I did say that with voices, that I struggle with men's voices. It's because it sounds like so deep and drony. Women's, majority of the time I can get away with it. I can manage okay. But with the live captioning, the problem with that is that it's not always going to be 100% correct, which I'm used to because I've watched live captioning on TV and things like that. So it would help with the general consensus of trying to get like the context of what they're saying. So she said, try it, see if it works for you. It might work for you, but it's there to help you. And then the other software she did recommend was a program where it could read text to speech, which I was very confused about, because I did actually say, well, hang on, does that not go against what I'm applying Disabled Students Allowance for? And she's like, yeah. So she showed an example of it. You can slow down the voice, you can change the voice from American voice to like, you can download different like sort of voices and things like that. She said, I've mentioned it, but I don't think it's gonna be massive for you. It's not gonna be like life changing. That's what she said. And if I did get that software, that I would have to get another laptop through them. With Glean, I can add it to my laptop that I've got, because she said it wasn't like heavily like big. It wasn't gonna cause too much problems on my laptop. So I actually turned that down, because one, I think I don't think I'm going to get much use out of it. And she did actually mention, if you are struggling with like some words in the pronunciation, is that you can just go on Google and like type it in and it can just play it out loud. Um, but it's going to sound weird because you've got me deafness, but if I say a word, if somebody says a word and I can see it written down, it helps a lot for me. So, and you might be thinking, why do you need to know the pronunciation if you're going to be writing assignments as well? Because I read in my mind as if I am reading it out loud. So I've got like sort of internal monologue while I'm reading. So being able to understand the pronunciation is going to help massively as well. And also if I do watch like sort of videos and things like that, it's like I'm not mispronouncing the name if I'm going to be learning about things later on. So yeah, so that's that. And then she said that I'm going to offer you a power bank for your tablet, so like you've got an upcharge, and then also a microphone. So I did question why you're offering a microphone to me, and she said, well, it's part of the package thing, so you may as well just like get it, sort of thing. She said you might find some use out of it. You don't have to use it. You can keep it on one side if you want to. But she said the power bank's going to help with the tablet, especially if I'm going to be using the Glean app on there. So if I'm going to be heavily using that, that's going to help. Um, I don't know what specs it's going to be for the power bank and things like that. I'm not sure what microphone it's going to be. I'll just have to wait for the report to come through. So you might be thinking, why didn't I go for the laptop? So the reason why, there's one reason why I didn't go for the laptop is because the laptop I have is in pretty good nick. It's like I don't carry it about anywhere. I don't take it out and about, so it is in relatively good nick. Um, and also it's like I didn't want to like take away resources that other people would potentially be able to have. So, and then also if you go for a laptop offer, you need to pay £200 towards the laptop cost, and then the Disabled Students Allowance will pay the rest of it for the recommended laptop. Now, the recommended laptop will be dependent on what software you get. So, when I was looking into it, a lot of people said, oh, well, you're going to get a free MacBook. I've seen a lot of people asking, oh, can I get a MacBook on the Disabled Students Allowance? You would only get a MacBook if you are required to do for your course, or there's a particular bit of software that would actually help you that would only work for the Mac. That is my understanding of it. If you want a MacBook and it hasn't been recommended to you, you can get that, but you need to pay the upgrade difference, and it can be £100 on top of the 200 that you already have. You can upgrade your Windows sort of laptop from the basic model to or one that is like sort of offered, but it depends on the supplier that you are provided with. So when a lot of people say, oh, you're getting a free laptop, you essentially are not, because you have to pay £200 towards the laptop. So I'm happy with my laptop that I have. It's in reasonable good nick, so I didn't feel I needed to do that. So she did say that if I do have other like sort of conditions in the future, I can sort of go back to them and say, hang on, I've got this. Um, there is something going on that I'm not going to mention on here until I've actually been formally diagnosed with it. So yeah, I'm not going to mention that. But she did say if you have like things like that, you can go back and speak to them. But usually you would have to wait 5 years to get another assessment. Now with the Open University, my course is tending to be 6 years because I'm doing part time. And again, with the Open University, I find that the support that is given is absolutely fantastic. Even the assessor said that with your university, you have a lot of support there already. They have captioning, everything's pretty much online. I don't need to do face-to-face tutorials. I don't even need to be like on the phone to my tutor, I can do it by email. I've also had contact with the disability support team with the Open University, and they have things in place. So one of my concerns with the module that I'm going to be doing was the music section, and they said there is like lyrics available for that bit, but also you can avoid answering the questions in that shorter area in music. So I do have the option to just totally disregard the music section if I wanted to. So that was one concern that I had for me. If I had exams, they were going to give me extra time for the exams. But honestly, I think the Disability Students Allowance is more geared to people who are going to a brick university, because they'll have like equipment that you can take into lectures, so like recording equipment. You've got like a travel allowance, I think you have printing allowance and things like that. So with the Open University, it's mainly geared to like all online. So I think that also, in a way, it helps those who are disabled to go to university, because they have such a good support network on the Open University. So that is my experience with Disability Students Allowance. Your experience might be different. Your recommendations might be different. I've heard people getting like ergonomic chairs. They're getting desks that they need to because of their particular disability. So there's not a one shoe fits all sort of thing with Disabled Students Allowance. So if you are thinking about going to the Open University or even a brick university, and you are disabled and you think you need some support, please have a look into Disabled Students Allowance. It is there to help you, they're not there to catch it out. You do need to make sure you do have enough evidence to prove that you are disabled in the way that you say you are. That's just to make sure the support is going to the right people. So that's my update so far. I'll probably update you when I get my equipment. The only probably real equipment that I'll be getting that I can physically show you will probably be the power bank and the microphone. I believe the other one will probably just be like a download sort of thing. I'm not sure how to do like screen recording yet on this sort of video program that I've got. So yeah, and I'll let you know when I get that. She did say that they needed a report that I'll be sent to the student finance people and also Open University, and then they've got to approve that in terms of student finance. They need to approve it, and then I'll get an email to say, or you can go and order your things, and then we're not sure how long it will take to actually get here. So I mean, like I said, in the previous video, the module opens in September. I said I want to get a head start and see what it's like, but she said you could still do that and you'll be able to see where you need help with, so that'll be a good thing. So I will update you when I have more updates. So thank you for watching, and if you're disabled, please go and check it out.